Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz as I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It's Mary, and I am here today for my Sunday afternoon shenanigans for Love After Lockup. It was the season premiere, and I had to get an OG, who I consider an OG because she did all three, Melissa, to join me. Hi, Melissa. How
Hi,
are
hi,
you,
Mary.
girl?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again.
And I consider you an OG because you went through the whole cycle. You did love during, love after, and life after, and you
Yeah.
made it through the other side.
Yes, yes,
It's
yeah.
it's
I mean,
very rare to see
yeah,
making it through to the other side.
yeah,
So
it's
we
true.
were just talking before we went live on one thing our men have in common. They're really annoying first thing in the morning, right,
Yes,
Melissa?
yes. And if anyone has seen Louis' morning video,
Yes, I mean
he has a
Louis
lot of
is
energy.
really I'm inspirational, don't get me
Yes,
wrong. I
yes.
love all the positivity, but not so fucking early in the
Right,
morning.
yeah. Like, let's do the positivity at noon.
Right, exactly. And you were saying, Melissa, that he tries to go outside.
Yes, he goes outside to like do these videos to change up the scenery, and I'm like, Louis, our apartment is going to call the police because it's 6:30 in the morning and you're screaming at the top of your lungs and they don't know what you're screaming
Positivity.
about.
Like positivity on a Tuesday. And someone's calling 911 going,
Yes.
there's some
So it's
lunatic.
like there's a domestic violence.
I mean, we love Louis with his positivity, but he just has to tone it down.
Yeah, tone it down in the morning.
Tone it down in the mornings. So, Melissa, I have a very important question to ask you. What reality shows are you into besides this whole Love After Lockup series? What do you watch?
I love Housewives of New Jersey, of course.
Me too.
Yeah, I like Mama June. I love Vanderpump. I know that's not on right now, but
I love
I
Vanderpump.
love
Oh my
Vanderpump.
goodness.
And I love all the Teen Moms because I've been watching that for years.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like
Me too. Yeah, I mean,
anything.
Teen Mom has been on forever. Like the babies that they had all those years ago were like
I
teenagers
know.
themselves, right?
I feel like MTV is where my reality TV obsession started, with like The Hills and Laguna Beach and all those shows. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
anything.
MTV is like the OG when it comes to
Yeah.
reality TV. Yeah, I really got into Love and Hip Hop. Oh my
Oh, okay.
goodness. I remember I was flipping and my son is 20 now and he was maybe like 7 or 8 and I was flipping through the channels trying to find something to watch and it was like Ray J, Princess, and I don't remember the other chick. And literally all three of them were fighting. I was like, what the fuck is this? That's it. I'm addicted.
You're the
I was like, I am addicted to this. And then I used to really be into the challenge shows
Oh,
on
yeah,
MTV.
yeah. Yeah, I love those too.
And now they're doing um the traders on E network.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yes, they did 2 seasons of it already, and the third season is coming out in the fall. And Larissa from 90 Day Fiance is going to be on this
Really?
season.
See, I
And
feel like
Visa,
Louis would be good on one of those challenge
yeah,
shows.
he would be good at one of those challenge shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would because he's really social, and
Yeah.
he could get on people's good side, and they wouldn't want to vote him out. You know what I mean? I think
Right. Yeah.
Louis would be really good. Now we have Letitia from this season of Love After Lockup in the comments. And don't worry, girl, we're going to talk about you in a minute. Okay. So, what else did I want to ask you about reality TV? Are you watching this season of 90 Day?
No, I
No.
haven't. No. No, but I need to start because I love Shakina on this season.
Right.
Like, yeah, and I follow her on Instagram and I'm like, "Oh my God, I need to get into this season." But I just feel like I don't know, in the summer my TV time is just like everything's out of whack.
it's so limited during the summer too,
Yeah.
right? Because you want to do other things and sit in front of TV.
Right. And it's not like dark at 4:30 and you're just like coming home, you know?
Right. But we were just talking about how fast the summer's going, right, girl? It's like we're blinking and it's almost
Yes, it's
over.
almost over. I'm like, it's gonna be August next week.
Right? It's like, what the fuck? Well, where the hell did the summer go? And I feel like I haven't done anything. And you were saying you feel like you haven't done anything.
I haven't even been to the beach. I'm like, I live 5 minutes from the beach. I haven't been to the beach.
Girl, you haven't been to the beach yet?
No. I'm like, I went to like this bay, like little bar area with my sister the one day, but that was it. And I'm just like, I feel like I don't know, every weekend I'm either working or there's like a party or, like something going
I was
on.
gonna
But
say, girl, you are working way too hard. If you live 5 minutes from the beach and you haven't been there yet.
I know.
Okay, so do we want to get into the season premiere?
Yes.
Oh, girl. So, in general, before we break it down, if you were going to give this episode a grade, what grade would you give it?
I would give it an A. I think that this premiere has been the best premiere in like a few seasons. Like
Yeah,
I think I'm already like hooked into everyone's story. Like there's not one member of the show that I'm like, oh, that's kind of boring. Like I felt like on the edge of my seat with all of
me
them.
too. So
Yeah,
far, yes, I think this if they keep it going, the
yeah,
season's going to be lit. I mean, there's been a couple of seasons at the premiere. I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a really good season. And about like episode 4, I'm like, this is so boring.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm hoping it's not going to be like that. But yeah, so far, this was totally lit. And I agree with you. I would give the season premiere an A.
Yeah, and they didn't give a lot away. Like we
No.
still don't know, some of the guys didn't come out, and we still don't
Mm-hmm.
really know anything other
Mm-hmm.
than
Mm.
the backgrounds. But no, I think this is going to be
Yeah,
a
I think
good
this
season.
is a season. Keeping our fingers crossed.
I know.
Okay, let's start with, and I know I'm probably torturing her name, Zariah and
Uh,
Troy.
Zara- I know. I'm
Okay.
like, wait, how do you pronounce her name?
I'm gonna call her Zariah for now
Okay.
until somebody tells me I'm like pronouncing it wrong. So they've been dating for 5 years and they're married for 3. Okay. And we have the typical pastor's child and guy that grew up in the hood. Okay. Her family's not too happy about this, but they're willing to accept him. Okay. Now, Troy, like they think he's gonna come out and he's immediately gonna, be in church and ministering, the word of the Lord. And Troy is like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, Melissa, what do you think about her parents being so adamant that they want him to be a part of the church?
I mean, I see that I think that that's part of the reason also why they're so accepting of the situation, especially since her previous relationship with her son's father, he was incarcerated too. So I feel like they think like that's the only way they're going to be able to successfully have this relationship if he gets involved in the church. And I don't blame them for thinking that way because they've probably have seen their daughter, not pick the best men, and now I'm sure they're thinking, okay, we can help him if he gets involved in the church. We'll keep him on the straight and narrow.
And that's exactly what her mother said, that the main reason she wants him to be involved is because being involved with the church provides stability. And if he's going to be married to her daughter, he's also marrying into the morals of the family.
Right, and they're going to hold him to a certain set of standards.
Right, right, which I think it's great,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good for him.
right, but I don't think it's necessarily going to work.
Yeah, no, he
Mm,
doesn't seem. I mean,
no,
off the bat, he's like, no, and she already even said they're not going to be going to church on Sundays.
right,
So
exactly.
that's not going to make a good impression on her family if he's at least not going to give it a chance, to try to show her parents that he's changed or he's taking this relationship seriously. At least I would start off by going to church a few Sundays to, and then he doesn't have to lead the mass, but at least show his face.
Exactly. I mean, show respect
Right.
because, like mom said, you are marrying into the family as well. You didn't know only marry Zariah, you married her family
Right. And
too.
her son is, singing and he's part of the choir. So it's
Right, exactly.
obviously a family affair.
Right. And Troy um adopted her son too. So if Troy's going to be dad, he has to accept all of it.
Right. And he's going to have to be the role model, for her son who was already involved in the church.
Exactly. Exactly. Because, we don't want her son to start saying, I'm not going to go to church, because daddy's not going to church. I'm
Right.
not going to church. We wouldn't want that. So now she's showing her sister all the shit that she bought him.
Yeah.
The money bouquet, Melissa. Have you
I
ever seen a money bouquet like that?
No, I wouldn't mind having one
Me
either.
too.
I mean,
Tell Louie for your next birthday you want a money
yeah,
bouquet,
I want a
okay?
money bouquet. I mean, that was something. And I mean, in all the gifts, and she said, what money comes to her, and she's not
Yes.
afraid to spend it.
Why
I need
isn't
some
money
of that.
coming to me? What the
Right. Like,
fuck?
can she rub it off on us?
Exactly. Whatever money tree she has in her backyard, can
Yeah.
she share? Like what the
Yeah.
fuck? She's
Send us
like,
some
yeah,
seeds.
money comes to me, and so that's why I just spend it freely. I'm like,
Yeah.
girl. Okay, Mary Pan says that the Dollar Tree was all singles, but still, that's
Okay.
more than what me, what me and Melissa have. Like what the fuck? And
I
then
mean,
she pulled out like a knot of money for him to have in his wallet. So
yeah.
it's like the bouquet, a whole stack of 20s.
Yeah. No, he's
I'm like, what the fuck? So he's not crazy about her sister staying there. I foresee this being a big problem. What do you think?
Yeah, no, and they're both don't seem crazy about it because the sister said that she, has had boyfriends or whatever, but she doesn't want to live with the man either.
Right.
So I don't know how both of them have all these opinions when it's not their house.
I know exactly.
Like he he doesn't want to live with the sister. The sister doesn't want to live with him, but they're both coming to live with her. So I don't
Exactly.
they're all going to have to learn how to get along, but I don't foresee it working out because
I don't see it either.
especially him coming out of prison. I mean, what he was in there 5 years,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
five. So I'm sure from experience, there's some habits. I mean,
Oh,
it's an adjustment living with
right.
someone straight out of prison. So to have a third person there in the mix, I foresee to be very challenging.
That's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
Now, I forgot to talk about this. The way she met him. Talk about scandalous, right?
Yes. So she was visiting her husband, or the was it her husband or no? Her
Yes,
son's dad.
yes,
Oh, it was
yeah,
her husband. Okay,
yeah,
her son's and then he was the bunkmate.
yes. Or
Yeah,
the cell neighbor or something,
yeah,
and he
something. And then
saw
they saw
him,
each other on a visit. I
and,
mean,
and she said that was it. That was it. I fell in love. And then she was doing three-way calls for him because he was
with
chasing
yeah,
an ex.
right, yeah,
Scandalous. I was like, oh my God.
yeah, yeah. That's definitely I don't know. From the beginning, that's a little.
Like, whoa. Okay, so now she shows off her huge Troy tattoo. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I think it's too soon. I think.
Like insane. I know that they're married and everything, and but still, I've been married to my husband for 20 something years, and I would never get his name tattooed on my body. The only
Yeah.
person's name I would get tattooed on my body is my son.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't tattoo Louis's name on my body. And I definitely wouldn't have done it before he got out because, it's a whole new ball game once they're out.
Yeah, it is a whole new ball game. It is, and that's a real, semi-permanent decision because you could get it lasered off and you could get it covered up, but it's a pain in the ass. And why would you want to do that to yourself?
And we remember what happened when Jessica did it with Dustin's name.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Then she had to get it covered up. I mean, and these are big tattoos. It's not like a little like I don't know.
No,
Like that's
no.
that Troy is
Yeah,
big and
that
red.
that choice huge, huge. So now she goes to see her psychic,
Yeah.
and her psychic doesn't have good news for her. I mean, pulls
No.
out the heartbreak card. Do you believe in that kind of stuff, Melissa? Are you like into tarot cards and crystals and
I mean, I only went to a psychic once in my life, and now looking back, I'm like, maybe it was true because me and my sisters went to the same psychic real quick, and they told us that, we had this curse on us and that we were never going to be happy in a relationship. And this was like 12 years ago, and that we had to pay money to get rid of this curse, right? So at the time, we thought it was bullshit. But after going through a decade of shit relationships, now me and my sisters are like, we should have paid for the curse. I mean, now I found Louis fine. But I think there is some, I don't know, some truth to it. Like,
right?
maybe,
Yeah.
like, obviously, I think that the people who, like her psychic, that they feel something or there's some kind of energy that's because sometimes they know things that you didn't tell them necessarily in the first place. So something has to be telling them. But I can't wait to see the drama unfold with the baby mama.
Oh
With
yeah.
that. Like, so she saw that, but we really haven't heard much about that. So like, is she still in love with them? Is she gonna show up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be good drama.
Right.
And we TV is always good for good drama, right, Melissa?
Yes.
If there's drama to be had, they'll capture it.
They'll find it. Yeah.
But yeah, she pulled out the heartbreak card. And Soraya was like, "Oh my god, I can't deal with this," and she's crying, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know if I would want to go to one and ask like about my relationship,
exactly.
like but before it's even starting, like I don't think I don't know. I would be
Yeah,
nervous because now she's obviously upset about what she heard, and I'm sure these are raising, flags, and she doesn't know what's gonna happen.
and he's
Like,
coming home in a couple of days, and she already bought all that stuff and has that
right,
huge tattoo. So it's
right,
kind of like,
and she's got to give it a shot, I guess.
right, exactly. It's kind of like, yeah, you defeated the purpose. Going to talk to her now. You should
Now,
have did
right.
this in the beginning. Like,
Yeah, right. If you were going to talk to her, it should have been when you first met.
right, exactly. Okay, so and now let's move on to Kim and Joey. And I have a feeling that this is going to totally implode. Okay, Kim is a serial relationship girl.
Yeah, she said she's never been single for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
I
know.
I can't even imagine. Like I can't like 2 weeks. So she's just like jumping, 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 jumping.
I mean, she was still hooked up, technically married to her first husband when she met her second husband, and now she's still married to her second husband.
And now she's with yeah.
And now she's with Joey. She's engaged to Joey, so she has to wait to be divorced for her second husband before she marries Joey in 6 months. I'm like, girl, you need to take a breath. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't the whole the dirt bike thing.
Yes,
It's like, that's if he's changed, obviously everyone deserves second chances, I think, but I don't know. It seems like his life has been a life of crime, not
right,
like an
right.
isolated incident. Like, I don't know. Did he learn his like how do we know he's coming out, changed or ready to be on the right track?
I mean, Kim says that he's not the same Joey because he's been through therapy. Joey says he's going to do the whole recovery thing, the medical way, taking
Yeah.
medicine and stuff that he should have done years ago. he's going to do now because he realizes that his whole life has been fucked up. Okay, but Melissa, what is it with these women and spending a ridiculous amount of money on their men?
I know.
She spent 15K. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. And it's like where is all this money coming from?
Melissa, did you spend a lot of money on Louis?
I mean, I don't think a lot because for most of the time he was in the transitional center, so it wasn't like he had the phone and stuff. So we
Right,
didn't I'm sure I would have spent more money if like we had to pay, if I had to pay to talk to him, like things like that.
right,
But I really didn't because, I sent him some clothes or like when he got out, I bought him some stuff, but I wasn't spending tens of thousands of dollars or any, anywhere
right,
close. But when
right,
he got out, I did help him with his teeth and everything. But because I saw that the change was happening,
right,
like I
exactly.
don't think I would have invested all this money while he was in there because when they get out, you just and like we've seen on the show season after season, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Right, exactly. Exactly. You don't know what's going to happen. And, she's basically a single mom, like Zariah is basically a single mom. And they're dropping like big amount of money
Right.
on these men before they come home and prove that
Right.
they're worth, spending all this money on, not for nothing. I mean, this
Yeah.
is just my opinion. But I wouldn't spend that much money on a dude.
No.
I
No.
mean, I wouldn't mind a dude spending that much money on me.
Right. That's a different story. But yeah, I mean, because it's not even like towards your future yet. It's just for them, and who knows what they're spending the money on.
Right, right,
That's the thing. I mean, and I was so skeptical the whole time when I was, in that position, that is this prison talk? Are there other women? Like, what's really going on? I wasn't gonna know until he actually got out. So that was always in the back of my mind, But I don't know. I guess they have more trust than I.
and Kim has her kids invested this time.
Yes, yes.
So
I mean, they're already calling him their second daddy.
I know, I know. So it's like Joey better not fuck up because now there's like kids invested in this.
And his
Um,
mom's there watching them
yes,
like
yes.
she's like the grandma already.
Everybody's like all like intertwined,
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to like break it all up.
right? And we don't even know if this is gonna work.
I know.
It just makes you want to pull your hair out of your head sometimes. So Kim is going off to pick him up, and Joey calls her and says, "Listen, I got a message from this chick Ashley that says that you're fucking around with her man. So, are you fucking anybody?" And of course, it ends. It's like dun dun dun.
Right? Yeah, of course, of course.
And next week, a love after lockup. It's
Yeah,
like,
right. I know, and I was not expecting that. Like I would expect it the other way around.
right,
Her calling him, hearing a rumor on her way to pick him up, but I'm like, really? I don't know what to think because she makes it look like she's so invested in the relationship and he's the one. So
right.
so it's like, would she really be talking to somebody else? But since she's a serial dater, maybe she keeps her options open. I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. So it's like, well, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And who's Ashley? She said she's his guardian angel.
Right. It's like, who the fuck is Ashley? Where did Ashley come from?
Right. Where did Ashley come from?
So we'll find out next week if she's fucking around.
Right. Yeah. I
Okay.
can't wait.
Cliffhanger. Okay. Shante and True. Okay. Now, I know Shante clarified to me why she did this, but when I saw her with the one and the three balloon, I was cracking up. I'm
I,
like, girl. But it turns out that he requested the balloons. Okay.
oh, okay.
He
Okay.
wanted the balloons. And so I just loved his sister and the niece and the nephew holding, the banner. and him walking out and getting all emotional, and he's like, this is the last time I'm going to do this. I can't believe I'm actually touching a woman. He's like grabbing on
Yeah.
her, and
I mean, because I wonder if he's the longest sentence on the show, because 13 years is a lot. Like, I thought Louis, the 10 years was up there. I know there's been some other cast
right.
members that have done in the tens, but 13, I'm like, wow, that's a long time. And in the pictures, he looked like a little kid.
Yes, doesn't he?
Yes. So that's a long time. But my thing is with them, like, why didn't she go visit him all that time? Like,
Yes,
I
she
don't,
says she has her reasons.
yeah. And she didn't want to talk about it. She kind
Yeah,
of just like, when
yeah.
he questioned, like, no, because I didn't want it. Like,
Oh, Letitia's man Keith has been in for 14 years.
oh, oh,
So we have
wow.
some long sentences on
Yeah.
this season.
Oh, 14 years. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the longest because I feel like on my season, Louis was 10, but then there was like a two, like the
Right.
shorter ones.
Shorter ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we have the line of the episode. He's like, so do I smell like jail? And she's like, yeah, you stink.
Yeah.
And then they get in the car and she gives him like a whole box of snacks. And that's another thing I wish somebody would do for me. Just hand
Yeah.
me a whole box of snacks.
Yeah.
He got spoiled by her.
He did. He did.
Okay. So, they're looking through the snacks and whatever. And he says he learned what love and loyalty is through Shante. I was like, oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
And he's looking forward to casino, alcohol, and pussy. And I'm like, you sound like a typical man. Not even one that just walked out of prison. I mean, just like any
Yeah.
typical man. Okay. I want casino, alcohol, and pussy. But she
I,
doesn't know if she's going to sleep with him just
oh, yeah.
yet.
Oh, yeah, I know, but 13 years, like, I'm sure that's the only thing
Exactly.
he
I'm like,
wants to
Shantae,
do.
girl, I'm like, you're going to have to fight him off with a baseball bat.
And I don't think she's going to be able to fight him off because, he's
Right.
a big boy.
So we're going to see what happens, with these two. But I don't think Chu's going to be able to hold back on his first night out after 13 years
No.
and having Shantae in the room with him. I think she might wake up with him on top of her.
Yeah, I think so too.
you know?
She
Uh,
seems more like reserved,
yes.
like
Yes.
she seems more reserved, but he's I don't know, he's a tiger ready to
Yeah, exactly. And he is out and he wants some.
yeah.
Okay. So now, Letitia and Keith. Letitia, my husband is coming home, Sam.
I mean, I can't imagine though getting that news like when you think it's going to be months from the time, or did she say how long the original release, like it was going to be in months ahead of that, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so then getting that news like, oh, there's been a change in the law. I
And
could be
guess
home
what? I
any
might be
day.
coming home tomorrow.
Right. I mean, yeah, the excitement and also right, the nerves, I can imagine, because it's like she wasn't planning on it, but she
Yeah.
didn't seem nervous. She,
She was happy as all hell, right?
yeah,
So now the only thing is she's gonna have to break the news to her kids. Okay. Kira, the younger one, is excited as
yeah,
all. She wants daddy to build a dollhouse. They're gonna go to a pool party. I mean, she has a whole uh,
yeah.
um
She's gonna teach him how to play
itinerary.
basketball.
Yeah, exactly. She has a whole thing set up for him. Okay.
Yeah,
Naraya, on the other hand, she's not too she's not too crazy about it because she doesn't know Keith.
right.
Like
Yeah,
Kiera and Keith have a bond, but she doesn't know him. Okay,
yeah.
and to me, she had that typical teenage attitude. Don't look
I,
at me. Don't breathe in my
yeah.
direction. Leave me alone.
I was
Right?
just gonna say, yeah, she's a typical teenager, and she's not into it the way her sister is, because she's, she's older, and she, I'm sure, has her reservations about the whole situation because she's old enough to know,
Right.
what's going on, I guess.
Yeah. Um, Now you have a daughter. How did
Yes.
your daughter feel about you and Louie in the beginning?
I think in the beginning, yes, she thought I was crazy. Like the situation was crazy. And then it's like hard to, it's hard to say, oh, people make bad choices. And because then you don't want your daughter coming home and saying, hi, this is my boyfriend, or
Guess
we're on
what,
the phone.
Mom?
Yeah. And
I'm
then
dating an
what,
inmate.
right. And what could I say? So, it was hard, but then once she started talking to Louis, and then she came around. But I understand that, yeah, in the beginning, especially, yeah, a teenage girl, like they just don't want to have any part of it.
We're like,
And
Mom, are
they
you
have
fucking
friends,
crazy?
and they're worried, yeah, like somebody's gonna know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they have friends and they don't necessarily want their friends to know
Yeah.
what's going on. I mean, they could be embarrassed. I mean, teenage girls get embarrassed if you breathe in their
Right.
direction.
I
So,
you can't even look at them.
right,
So.
exactly. Exactly. So then Kira, the little one, broke down and started crying.
No.
And she was like, I want my daddy to come home now. I
I
want my
know.
dad. I'm like, oh. And, Keith has been the only father figure she knows. He's like really stepped up to be the father, the best he can behind
Right.
bars. But,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that just broke my heart.
I
I'm just like,
know.
ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I like she must have really feel, to just start crying like that. She must have really, really feels the connection to him, even though they haven't spent any like time together, in the same vicinity, just over the phone or FaceTime or whatever. She must
Right.
really feel an attachment towards him. And, I hope he stays on the right path too, to not like disappoint her, who's going to be more affected than, her teenage daughter.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Shante says no teens really opened up. I still have one that is really reserved but true. Yeah, because teenagers are hard to win over, period,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then just having someone bringing someone into the home, especially if they've had, their mom one on one this whole time, they feel like they're going to have to share their
Right.
mom, compete, for time, attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like having a teenage daughter is the hardest scenario
Yeah,
to be in, with that kind of, introduction, or dating someone in prison, because they know what's going on. You can't hide it. You can't, they're
right.
they're,
I
they're
mean,
too
just
smart.
dating, period, when
Right,
you
just
have a
dating.
teenager.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So imagine dating someone in prison. Forget it. That's just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
the cherry on the cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So now we're going to move on to Hope and Arthur. Now, Hope is a badass driving that 18
Yes,
wheeler.
I know. I'm like, all right, she's cool from the beginning. Like,
Yeah. I mean, she's cool. Okay. But, the mom and her don't like each other. Okay. And the
yeah.
mom try to, show up and nice surprise. I want to be here to pick up my son, but the prison could only release him to Hope,
Right. Yeah.
and Hope is taking her sweet ass time.
I mean, 2.5 hours late. Oh my God, Donna would have killed me.
Oh yeah, oh my God, Donna would have killed you. You would have
Well,
been sitting
she
here
wouldn't
right
have let
now.
me. She would have dragged me out of my hotel room.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, she would have been kicking down your door.
Yeah.
You would not be sitting here right now if you were 2.5 hours late. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely, right. My advice to Hope is try to just get along with her.
Yeah, because she is gonna have to get along with this woman. I mean, she's married to Arthur
Yeah.
and engaged. No, are they married or are they engaged? I think they're engaged. But
Engaged. Yeah.
if you're gonna marry this man, this woman is gonna be a part of your life no matter what, whether you like it or not. So they're gonna have to find some common ground. And Melissa knows all about it.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna have to. I mean, even it reminded me of kind of Donna, how she just, showed up there.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm gonna be here for my son's release, and then, Hope's like, oh, when the mom was saying that she spent money, she has receipts, and then Hope's like, well, I would love to see those one day.
I know. I know. I mean, Hope says that his mom basically abandoned him and she's been taking care of him the 6 years that he's been in.
Yeah.
And the mom doesn't like Hope because Hope basically cheated on her son.
Right. Right. So they had this open relationship, right, in the
Right.
beginning, and
Right.
then I guess he wanted to put the axe on it. He didn't want to do the open, but then she kept
And
being
then when
open.
and then when he came out, she gave him an old phone that had a video on it.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Like, yeah, I
Don't you do like a factory reset before you do that? Like
right
take
before
a
you give
phone,
your
reset the whole
phone.
shit, and
Yeah.
then give like, oh my god, girl. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially giving it to him. Like, she wasn't just like letting him use it where he
No, she
found
was
it. Like,
giving
she
it
was
to
giving
him.
it to him. So of course he's gonna go through everything on the phone.
Right? Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb, dumb,
Yeah.
dumb move. And he told his mom, and his mom is gonna hate her no matter what. His mom is
Right.
gonna look at her like, this dumb whore that broke my son's heart, you know
Right.
and she showing up late and the attitude. And yeah, I would like to see those receipts. Is that helping?
No, no, not helping. And we don't even know, like, has she been faithful for the
Right,
rest of the time
exactly.
that he was there? I mean, because she said she needs to have sex. She needs to get laid. So I wonder how long it was from the point where he found it. Oh, well, that was when he went back in. So it's been
Yeah,
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 okay.
yeah. It's been a while.
It's
She's
been a
supposed to
while.
be faithful. And mom even said that. Mom said, oh, is anybody going to come knocking on the door
Yeah,
causing problems?
yeah. And now the
Yeah.
mom lives in Vegas, right?
Yes. The mom is in Vegas and she flew and drove and walked and I don't know what to get there.
Yeah, but she wants him to come back with her.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I wonder how that's going to pan out
Yeah.
because I don't know.
This is going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess. But we both agree this was a great first episode.
Yes, it really was. It really was. Like, I'm hooked for next week already.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. We are so looking forward to the season. And I don't know. Do you have any last thoughts?
no, I mean, I hope everyone, I don't know, smartens up. No, no, I think all the women on the show see, not. I feel like last season maybe a lot more were obviously getting taken advantage of, and it doesn't look like this season though anyone's like catfishing, anything like
Right.
that. Like,
Right.
I feel like, okay, these are like couples that are really trying to make it
Right.
work.
They're
Yeah,
real couples. They're
right.
really trying to make it work. They have history. It's
Yeah,
not like, oh, I just met him 3 months ago. No,
yeah,
I mean, these couples have history. They put a lot into their relationships.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of
It's gonna be a
course,
good season.
we know it's going to be a fucking hot mess
I
express,
know.
and I can't
I know.
wait.
I know. I can't
I
wait.
can't wait. I can't wait. So, thank you, Melissa, for joining me today. Thank you, everyone, for watching us, and we'll be back next weekend. I can't
Yes.
wait. Can't
I
wait for
know.
Friday.
I know.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All right. Bye.
And